In the glittering world of daytime television, where dramatic twists and heartfelt comebacks define the narrative, Tristan Rogers has long been a fixture as the enigmatic Robert Scorpio on General Hospital. At 79, the Australian-born actor has captivated audiences for decades with his portrayal of the tough, resilient, spy-turned-family man. But in a plotline no scriptwriter could have foreseen, Rogers now faces his most daunting role yet: survivor in a personal fight against liver cancer. As we step into August 2025, his story is unfolding not on screen, but in the quiet intensity of hospital rooms and recovery wards, marked by a recent surgical triumph that underscores his unyielding spirit. It all began subtly, like the slow build of a soap opera mystery. Early in 2024, Rogers noticed persistent fatigue during filming sessions in Los Angeles. "I chalked it up to age and the grind of the set," he later confided in a rare interview. But as weeks turned to months, nagging abdominal pain and unexplained weight loss prompted a visit to his doctor. Scans revealed the unthinkable: a tumor on his liver, confirmed as hepatocellular carcinoma, the most common form of liver cancer. The diagnosis hit like a cliffhanger episode, ending shocking, life-altering, and demanding immediate action. Rogers, ever the professional, kept the news under wraps at first, continuing to tape episodes while grappling with the reality. "Robert Scorpio has faced assassins and betrayals," he joked with close friends, "but this is a villain I never auditioned for." Behind the humor lay a storm of emotions. Family rallied around him, his wife Teresa, children and grandchildren forming a tight-knit support network. Fans, oblivious at the time, sent well wishes for what they assumed were routine health checks. But as 2024 progressed into 2025, the actor's absences from the show sparked whispers on social media. Speculation swirled. Was Robert Scorpio being written out? The truth, when it emerged, was far more poignant. Treatment kicked off with a regimen of targeted therapies and chemotherapy designed to shrink the tumor before any invasive procedures. Rogers described the early days as a roller coaster ride through hell. Nausea sidelined him from the set, and the isolation of infusion sessions tested his resolve. Yet he drew strength from his character's indomitable will. Robert wouldn't back down from a fight, he'd tell his medical team, and neither will I by mid-2025. As summer heat blanketed California, doctors deemed the tumor operable. The stage was set for a pivotal moment in this unfolding drama. The surgery, performed at a renowned Los Angeles medical center in late July 2025, was a high-stakes operation lasting over 6 hours. Surgeons navigated the delicate landscape of the liver, removing the cancerous mass while preserving as much healthy tissue as possible. Rogers, under anesthesia, was oblivious to the tension in the operating room beeps of monitors, the focused whispers of the team. His wife paced the waiting area, clutching a faded photo from their wedding day, a talisman against uncertainty. Hours ticked by, each one stretching like an extended commercial break. When the lead surgeon emerged, mask lowered, the news was a beacon of hope. The procedure was a success. "We got it all!" Cheers erupted from the family, a release of pent-up fear. Rogers awoke in recovery, groggy but grinning through the pain. First hurdle cleared, he murmured to his doctor, his voice weak but laced with that signature Scorpio grit. The pathology reports confirmed clean margins, no signs of spread. It was a victory, but not the end credits. Post-op, Rogers faced a regimen of monitoring, potential radiation, and lifestyle adjustments to bolster his liver's recovery. As August 2025 dawns, Rogers is back home, albeit moving slower. He shared glimpses of his journey on social media, posting a selfie from his hospital bed with the caption, "Surgery down, battle ongoing." "Thanks for the love, GH family." The outpouring has been overwhelming with letters, celebrity shoutouts from co-stars like Finola Hughes and Whaley Kurth. Even a virtual fundraiser organized by the show's producers. But Rogers isn't one for the spotlight off-screen. "This isn't about pity," he says. "It's about perseverance." At 79, I've got stories left to tell, on and off the set. The road ahead looms long, a series of checkups and therapies stretching into the fall. Doctors warn of possible complications, fatigue, infections, or recurrence. But Rogers meets each challenge with quiet determination. He's already plotting his return to General Hospital, eager to weave his real-life resilience into Robert Scorpio's arcs. Imagine Robert facing a health scare. He muses. It could make for some compelling TV. Friends describe him as transformed, more reflective, cherishing simple joys like morning walks with his dog or video calls with grandchildren across the globe. In this real-world saga, the successful surgery stands as a turning point, a testament to medical advancements and human tenacity. Rogers' story resonates beyond Hollywood, inspiring others in similar battles. As one fan tweeted, "If Robert Scorpio can beat the odds, so can we." And so, the plot thickens it with scripted drama, but with the raw authenticity of life. Tristan Rogers presses on, a beacon of hope, proving that even at 79, the fight is far from over. His resilience. That's the real Emmy-worthy performance. Next, we will learn about the intriguing possibility of a dramatic reunion between Josslyn Jax and Britt Westbourne that could shake up the entire storyline. In the ever-twisting world of Port Charles, whispers from the latest ABC General Hospital spoilers suggest that Josslyn Jax might be on the verge of a jaw-dropping confrontation with someone she believed was lost forever. As tensions build around an elaborate undercover mission at the luxurious Five Poppies Resort, nestled along the stunning Dalmatian coastline, fans are buzzing about how this operation could spiral into unexpected chaos. Picture this: crystal-clear Adriatic waters lapping at pristine beaches, opulent villas dotted with blooming gardens, and a veil of mystery hanging over every corner. It's the perfect backdrop for secrets to unravel, and Josslyn is stepping right into the heart of it all, armed with a fake identity and a partner who's equally in the dark about what might lie ahead. With the mission's focus pivoting dramatically, the stakes are higher than ever, promising a blend of romance, deception, and high-stakes investigation that could redefine alliances in the show. Jack Brennan, the enigmatic operative pulling strings from the shadows, has assigned Josslyn and her counterpart Vaughn to infiltrate the resort under the guise of blissful newlyweds. This isn't just a quick in-and-out job. They're committed to a full 2-week immersion, complete with staged romantic dinners, sunset strolls along pebble-strewn paths, and whispered conversations that mask their true intentions. Imagine Josslyn slipping into an elegant gown for an evening out, practicing her cover story in front of a gilded mirror, all while Vaughn rehearses his lines with a mix of charm and caution. The original target, Professor Henry Hank Dalton, has faded into the background, replaced by a deeper web of intrigue that demands they probe the resort's hidden underbelly. Perhaps they'll uncover clandestine meetings in secluded cabanas or overhear cryptic exchanges by the infinity pool, piecing together clues about shadowy dealings that extend far beyond the resort's glamorous facade. Dalmatia's historic charm, with its ancient stone walls and vibrant markets, adds an exotic layer to their sleuthing, making every step feel like a scene from a spy thriller infused with soap opera drama. What Josslyn could never anticipate is crossing paths with Britt Westbourne during this high-stakes charade. In Josslyn's mind, Britt is a tragic hero, having sacrificed everything to shield her from the deadly threat of Heather Weber's infamous poison hook attack. That fateful night replays in Josslyn's nightmares the chaos of the confrontation, Britt's brave intervention, and the heartbreaking aftermath where Britt was presumed dead. Her legacy etched in acts of courage. To Josslyn, Britt represents unbreakable loyalty and ultimate loss, a ghost from the past whose memory inspires both gratitude and grief. Yet, if spoilers hold true, this resort getaway might shatter that illusion in the most electrifying way. Envision the Five Poppies as a sprawling haven of luxury, where marble-floored lobbies echo with soft music and guests mingle under chandelier-lit atriums. It's here, amid the scent of sea salt and jasmine, that Josslyn might stumble upon the impossible, a living, breathing Britt, perhaps disguised in a stylish ensemble, blending seamlessly into the crowd of affluent vacationers. The encounter could unfold in a classically soapy fashion, heightening the drama to fever-pitch levels. Let's say Josslyn and Vaughn are enjoying a candlelit dinner at one of the resort's acclaimed seaside restaurants. savoring dishes like fresh grilled octopus and local wines while maintaining their honeymoon facade. Vaughn might lean in with a fabricated tale of their whirlwind romance, drawing envious glances from nearby tables. But then, nature calls. Josslyn excuses herself to the ladies' room, navigating through a dimly lit corridor adorned with intricate mosaics depicting Dalmatian folklore. In a moment of pure serendipity or scripted fate, she could collide directly with Britt, their shoulders brushing in a literal bump that sends purses tumbling and hearts racing. The shock would be palpable, Josslyn's eyes widening in disbelief, her hand instinctively reaching out to confirm if this apparition is real. Britt, equally startled, might freeze, her composed exterior cracking just enough to reveal a flicker of recognition. Questions would flood the air, Josslyn demanding to know how Britt survived, what secrets she's been hiding, and why she's chosen this remote paradise as her hideaway. Inventing a new twist, perhaps Britt has been recuperating in secrecy, aided by underground contacts who faked her death to protect her from lingering enemies, adding layers of conspiracy to her resurrection. Naturally, Britt wouldn't be without her own curiosities in this unexpected reunion. Spotting Josslyn in honeymoon bliss under an assumed name would raise red flags immediately. Britt, with her sharp instincts honed from years in Port Charles' turbulent circles, might piece together the undercover vibes right away. Why the alias? Who's the handsome husband at the table? This could evolve into a tense standoff in that secluded hallway, with whispered urgings to keep voices down amid the hum of distant laughter from the dining area. To complicate matters, Britt could propose a mutual pact of silence, suggesting they each guard the other's secrets like buried treasure. "You owe me one, Joss," she might murmur, referencing that life-saving hook incident, her eyes pleading yet commanding. Josslyn, torn between duty and debt, would grapple with the moral dilemma, her loyalty to Brennan's operation clashing with the profound gratitude she feels toward Britt. Adding a fresh element, perhaps Britt reveals a snippet of her own covert agenda at the resort, maybe tracking a black market artifact tied to Port Charles villains, which could tempt Josslyn to ally with her temporarily, weaving their stories even tighter. This precarious situation carries massive risks for Josslyn, especially if she chooses to withhold such explosive information from Brennan. Her budding career in whatever shadowy field Brennan represents hangs in the balance. One wrong move, and her cover could crumble like the ancient ruins dotting Dalmatia's landscape. Britt, holding the upper hand, could inadvertently or deliberately expose Josslyn, jeopardizing not just the mission, but Josslyn's future aspirations. Yet, the bond forged in that poison hook ordeal runs deep. Josslyn might envision Britt's heroic face in her mind's eye, feeling an irresistible pull to honor that debt by staying silent. If Vaughn remains oblivious, dining alone and checking his watch, Josslyn could slip back to the table with a forced smile, her mind swirling with the weight of this secret. Extending the scenario, perhaps she spends the night tossing in their lavish suite, debating whether to confide in Vaughn or risk it all for Britt's sake, introducing internal conflict that fans love to dissect. Meanwhile, the plot thickens with Jason Morgan's involvement as he's relentlessly pursuing leads to confirm Britt's survival. His own journey could lead him straight to the Five Poppies, setting the stage for his emotional reunion with Britt, filled with heartfelt revelations and perhaps a touch of unresolved romance. But spoilers tease that Josslyn isn't out of the woods, yet she might find herself in Jason's path next, adding another layer of alarm to her resort escapade. Imagine Jason arriving incognito, his stoic demeanor cutting through the resort's festive atmosphere, only to spot Josslyn in her newlywed disguise. This could spark a chain reaction of confrontations, forcing Josslyn to navigate a minefield of loyalties. Next, we will learn about the thrilling developments in the week of August 4th, where Anna Devane faces imminent peril, Jason Morgan uncovers shocking truths about Britt Westbourne. Jack Brennan receives a stern ultimatum, and Britt grapples with a critical dilemma. Diving into the heart-pounding previews for ABC General Hospital. The upcoming episodes promise a whirlwind of suspense and revelations that could alter the fates of several key characters in Port Charles. As the summer heat intensifies, so does the drama, with storylines intertwining in ways that blend high-stakes investigations, hidden survivals, and explosive confrontations. Imagine the bustling streets of Port Charles humming with unspoken tensions, where old alliances are tested and new threats emerge from the shadows. This week's teaser highlights Anna Devane's precarious situation, positioning her at the center of a dangerous plot twist that leaves fans on the edge of their seats. Adding to the intrigue, Jason Morgan steps up as the bearer of astonishing news regarding Britt Westbourne, whose presumed death has long haunted the town. Meanwhile, Jack Brennan finds himself on the receiving end of a fiery admonition, and Britt herself navigates a massive obstacle that could upend her secretive existence. With the scenic backdrop of international locales like Croatia's enchanting resorts contrasting against Port Charles' gritty underbelly, these episodes are set to deliver a mix of emotional reunions, betrayals, and cliffhangers that keep viewers hooked. Jason Morgan's growing conviction that Britt Westbourne is still among the living takes center stage, fueled by a series of tantalizing clues that have him questioning everything he thought he knew. It all started with that fleeting glimpse at a bustling airport in France, where Jason caught sight of a woman who bore an uncanny resemblance to Britt, her signature confident stride and the way she adjusted her sunglasses sparking instant doubt about her reported demise. Since then, he's pieced together a mosaic of evidence, from anonymous tips whispered in dimly lit cafes to digital traces leading back to her possible whereabouts. In a pivotal moment captured in the weekly preview, Jason confides in Sonny Corinthos, laying out his findings with the intensity of a man on a mission. "I'm telling you, Sonny, Britt is alive," he declares, his voice laced with urgency as they meet in a secluded corner of Sonny's penthouse. Surrounded by the faint aroma of espresso and the glow of city lights filtering through floor-to-ceiling windows. To bolster his case, Jason recounts the eerie phone call to the Five Poppies resort in Croatia, where he swears he recognized Britt's distinctive tone amid the static, perhaps discussing covert arrangements under the guise of a routine reservation. Inventing a fresh layer to this mystery, Jason might have even intercepted a coded message or a blurry photo from a contact in Europe, showing Britt strolling along the resort's sun-kissed promenades, her hair styled differently to evade recognition. But the big question looms, will Sonny, ever the skeptic shaped by years of mob dealings and personal losses, buy into Jason's theory, or will he dismiss it as wishful thinking born from grief? Building on this momentum, Jason doesn't stop at Sonny. He extends his revelations to Anna Devane, drawing her into the web of suspicion surrounding Britt's fate. In a tense exchange that underscores their shared history of espionage and loyalty, Jason presents his evidence, perhaps over a discreet lunch at the Metro Court, where the clink of silverware masks their grave conversation. Anna, with her seasoned instincts as police commissioner, absorbs the details, the airport sighting, the accumulating clues, and that unmistakable voice on the resort line, and emerges convinced of the possibility. "You need to find her as soon as you can," she urges Jason, her eyes reflecting a mix of determination and concern. Knowing that Britt's survival could unravel larger conspiracies tied to Port Charles' criminal underworld, this endorsement might propel Jason toward action, prompting him to book a flight to Croatia under an alias. Equipped with forged documents and a burner phone to track leads without alerting potential adversaries. Adding an inventive twist, perhaps Anna shares a personal anecdote from her WSB days, recalling a similar case where a presumed dead agent resurfaced in the Mediterranean, hinting that Britt could be entangled in an international intrigue involving black market dealings or rogue operatives. With Anna's backing, Jason's quest gains legitimacy, setting the stage for a potential overseas adventure filled with narrow escapes and heartfelt discoveries amid Croatia's rugged cliffs and azure seas. Shifting focus to Britt Westbourne herself, the preview offers a glimpse into her isolated world, where she's holed up in a lavish hotel room at the Five Poppies resort, far from the chaos of Port Charles. The scene paints her as a woman on the run, pacing across plush carpets with ocean views framing her anxiety, as she clutches her phone in a white-knuckled grip. "We have a huge problem," she confides to the mysterious voice on the other end, her tone a blend of frustration and fear, suggesting a complication that threatens her carefully constructed anonymity. Who could this confidant be? Speculation runs wild it might be a shadowy ally from her past, like a former colleague in the medical field turned informant. or even a family member who's been in on the secret of her faked death all along. To expand this element creatively, perhaps Britt is dealing with a leaked detail about her location, such as a hacked security camera feed showing her checking in, or an unexpected visitor from Port Charles who's getting too close for comfort. The resort's opulent setting, with its infinity pools and private balconies overlooking the Adriatic, contrasts sharply with her inner turmoil as she glances nervously at the door, half expecting an interruption that could expose her survival. This huge problem might involve forged identities unraveling or a pursuer closing in, forcing Britt to contemplate drastic measures like relocating to another hidden spot in Europe, all while wrestling with the guilt of leaving loved ones in the dark. On another front, Anna Devane's confrontation with Jack Brennan escalates the drama, centering on his controversial decision to recruit Josslyn Jacks into the WSB's shadowy operations. Storming into Brennan's office, Anna unleashes her fury, her posture rigid with authority as she slams a dossier on his desk. "There's going to be hell to pay," she warns, her voice echoing off the sterile walls, emphasizing the fallout when Carly Spencer discovers her daughter's involvement in such perilous work. Brennan, ever the smooth operator with his tailored suits and calculated demeanor, might defend his choice by highlighting Josslyn's potential, but Anna isn't buying it, pointing out the risks to a young woman still navigating her path. Inventing a new detail, perhaps Anna references a past WSB mission gone wrong involving a similar recruit, where family interference led to catastrophic consequences, underscoring her protective stance toward Josslyn. This exchange highlights the ethical tightrope of recruitment, with Brennan's ambitions clashing against Anna's moral compass, potentially straining their professional alliance. The tension peaks as Anna, fresh from her clash with Brennan, retreats to the foggy pier in Port Charles to make a private call, the salty air thick with foreboding. She's just tucking her phone away, perhaps after leaving a cryptic voicemail for a contact about Josslyn's safety, when danger strikes without warning. From the misty shadows emerges an assailant, swift and silent, who envelops her head in a dark bag and hauls her off into the unknown. The scene is ripe with suspense, the scuffle muffled by the lapping waves, Anna's muffled protests echoing faintly as she's dragged toward a waiting van parked in the dim light of street lamps. Who is behind this bold kidnapping? Theories abound. It could be a WSB rival seeking leverage, a vengeful figure from Anna's storied past like Valentine Casadini, or even someone tied to Brennan's operations aiming to silence her warnings. Adding an inventive element, perhaps the kidnapper leaves behind a subtle clue, like a dropped insignia from an international syndicate, hinting at connections to the Croatian resort and Britt's predicament. As Anna vanishes into the night, the preview leaves us hanging, promising that her disappearance will ripple through Port Charles, mobilizing allies like Jason and Sunny in a frantic search. Stay tuned to ABC General Hospital for these edge-of-your-seat moments. And remember to check back for more spoilers on how these twists unfold.